Today we are going to be using the Pythagorean theorem to solve for the hypotenuse. Hopefully you watched the video that I posted that's intro to Pythagorean theorem so you know what I'm talking about, but just a review. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. This theorem is great if you have a right triangle and you're trying to find one missing side because you've been given two. As a reminder, the c value is always the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse, and that is easy to find because you can see that the right angle of the right triangle is facing directly opposite of the C side of the triangle, so that's how you always figure it out. You also have these other two legs, we call them legs, the other two sides of the triangle, A and B. Now it doesn't matter if you assign one leg A and the other B or vice versa, because A squared plus B squared, addition is commutative, it's equal to B squared plus A squared. All right, so you're going to see problems like this. You'd see them in a textbook, you'll see them next year, you'll see them in your exit ticket. It says, solve for the missing side using Pythagorean theorem. So right now we have a triangle, a right triangle, we know that because we have this right angle here, and we know that we have a side that says 3, a side that says 7, and then we have this missing side. We know the missing side is C because it is opposite of the right angle, making C the hypotenuse. So we have to figure out what side is A and what side is B. I'm just going to call this one A and this one B. Again, it doesn't matter, just assign them to something. So I have my formula here, A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug my numbers in. So I know that my A side is 3 and my B side is 7, and I'm going to go ahead and make the squared signs here. And then my C side I don't know yet. 3 squared becomes 9, 7 squared is going to be 49, and then equals C squared. So I know that 49 plus 9 is going to be, 49 plus 9 would be just like 49 plus 10, so that would be like 59, but 1 back, so it's going to be 58. And then we have equals C squared. So that's a terrible 8 here. 58. So we have 58 equals C squared. Now I'm just going to go to the next slide, write that out. 58 is equal to C squared. Now remember, I want to get the value for C, and C squared is unfortunately not the most simplified I can get for the value of C. So since C is squared, the only way I can undo a squared sign is to take the square root of it. So I'm going to take the square root here and take the square root here. So as a reminder for those people who might have forgotten, taking the square root is something that's like saying what times what is equal to C squared. And so we know that it's going to be C. So this taking the square root of C squared is just going to leave us with C. And then the square root of 58, we're just going to put here because the square root of 58 is an irrational number. And we also know it's kind of like a fraction that doesn't actually simplify to an easy number to write, kind of like 2/3. So we're just going to leave square root of 58 equals C here. However, if you did want to put it in a calculator, you would get C equals approximately 7.615, but I'm going to round it to 7.62, and you'd want to make these approximately. So this is an approximation, sort of like 2/3 would be 0.6 with a line over it, but the real answer is just going to stay at square root of 58 equals C. Okay, let's try another one. So in this problem, it's the same deal, except for this triangle is sort of upside down from the other one. We do know that this missing side is still C because it's opposite of the right triangle. And so I'm going to go ahead and just write out my formula here. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, and we'll start plugging them in. I have to assign the legs A and B, so I'll just go ahead and say this one is A, this one is B to make it easy for me. Okay, so 8 squared plus 4 squared is equal to C squared. So I know 8 squared is going to be 64, 4 squared is going to be 16 equals C squared. 64 plus 16 is going to be 80 equals C squared. I'm going to move to the next page here. 80 equals C squared. Just like the last problem, I have to get rid of that squared sign, and the only way you can do that is by taking the square root. So again, we have to do it on this side also, property of equality. So this gives me C is equal to square root of 80. Again, leave your answer in a square root. If you want to put it in a calculator, you would find out that it is approximately, I keep forgetting to write the approximation equal sign, 8.94, and we knew that it was really close to 9 because this, 9 times 9 is 81, the square root of 81 is 90. 9, I always want to say 90, but it's 9. So this is the approximation, but again, go with this as your answer. All right, thanks for watching. Go ahead and do those practice problems.